How to motivate your sales team. How to push your employees for more without stressing them out so much. Let's assume that your team or a company might be on top of the game. Your team is achieving targets every year. Sometimes they exceed the expectations. As their sales manager, you're hesitant to ask your team for more because they're already performing very well. At the same time, you also know that it's very crucial to keep the motivation going. Otherwise, the team will fall back on the comfort zone and tend to decline on performance thereafter. You have a big challenge at hand here. You need to push your employees for more this year, and in turn, you shouldn't be stressing them out so much with your demands. In a number-driven world, how do you ask for more when your people are already giving you consistent results? Well, all demands begin with a leader. When a leader can demand more from himself or herself, they can demand more from other people as well. The energy of leaders, for better or worse, is highly contagious, their actions even more. In an emotionally driven workplace, words matter. What you say can communicate to your team, can either make them or break them. You need motivation and you need to pass it on to your people. Motivation is very crucial. It pushes people to discover more about themselves. It makes us do more. It stretches our human potential to maximize our abilities. It makes us wake up. It wakes us up. It reminds us about our goals. It makes us stand out on our toes. It makes us powerful. And extra motivation can make us realize that in most situations, we may not be performing at our best or performing at our peak levels, optimizing all the internal resources like knowledge, skills, and other capabilities. There's always room for improvement, and a little bit of motivation can make us go beyond the boundaries. When you motivate your salespeople, they raise the bar. You help them set a bigger goal. You awaken their aspirations. You bring in clarity about your organization's goals, the moonshots, the bigger targets, or the BHAGs. Your gigantic goals may not be so easy to achieve. Some goals require stretching and growing in order to achieve them. Big goals can be overwhelming, but it can be also exciting. Always remember, setting small goals do not excite people. Big goals surely do the magic. Big goals make people think big. You're inspired to take bold moves and sometimes small consistent steps towards achieving them. Your motivation can trigger people to optimize the resources, align their aspirations with organizational vision. Therefore, set goals that are nearly impossible but not impossible. We live in exponential time, and sustainability demands exponential growth. Growing linear and slow in certain sectors of the business is quite detrimental to its own sustenance. Sometimes you have to gear up and get to the fast line, and your motivation can act as a daily dose or a trigger that can put them on the fast line. If you're number one in industry, I have bad news for you. Being number one in your industry is a bigger challenging position because the rest of the market players are ganging up to compete with you. When you are number one in your industry, you're also the most targeted. So tell your employees, tell them it's easy to get there to the position of being number one, but it is hard to stay there. Tell your employees that you may be number one right now, but the truth of the matter is that number two will be always striving harder and working harder to beat us in our game. Jim Collins said in Good to Great that all people are not your assets, only the right people are. There's always this 80-20 rule when it comes to employee productivity. If you're in sales, you can also relate to the idea that 80% of the results of the sales turnover comes from 20% of the people. There need to be more accountability and productivity from the 80% of the people. And if you're able to achieve that, the company can grow bigger. If they are still not driven to achieve more, define your organizational purpose for dominance in your industry and tell them why you're striving for that goal. Tell them it's a defining moment in your industry because the market is volatile, and if you don't use your 100% potential, your full potential for the opportunity that is presented, you may not be even get a second chance to win this game. It's now or never. Go full throttle, go offensive.